think 12 is a good time. We can always do earlier in the morning if you guys actually want to be doing this workout with me. I know it gets saved to my account and you guys can do it later, but I would be happy to do these with you, and I can make them a lot longer if I do feel like you guys are here and you want to do this with me at like 8 a.m. for a full hour. But in the meantime, I think 12 is good if you guys have like a little lunch break, and we can also make it kind of more of a recovery routine. If you are just kind of sitting at your desk, but you really want to get a little movement in, we can do kind of something that won't make you sweat. But today we're going to do a 15-minute body weight workout. So this is perfect if you don't have cardio machines or access to an area where you can run and you don't just want to jog up and down in place. So instead what we're going to do is body weight exercises, which can kind of work as your cardio option. Okay, let's get started. So we always start with the warm-up. Everything we do is 30 seconds long. We're going to repeat each round 2 times through. Starting with the warm-up, we are going to do some cross reaches in 3, 2, 1. So they look like this. It's kind of like a good morning. I'm going to hinge my hips and stretch out my hamstrings. Cross reaching my hand to the opposite foot. And taking deep breaths. 15 seconds. Try to get a little lower without rounding your back. We're keeping almost a slight arch. Neutral spine. Last one. Let's get some squats. 3, 2, 1. Feet are wider than shoulder width. Toes slightly turned out. Keeping your chest up. Shoulders down and back. Abs nice and tight. Not going all the way, kind of just doing a 3/4, keeping my weight in my heels. We have 10 seconds. Relax. Take some deep breaths. Last one. Let's get some hip circles now. So 15 seconds on the right side. I'm just going to create a circle with my hip. Opening up the hips. Waking up the hip flexors. The inner and outer legs. Switch sides. Round and down. You might feel some cracking. You might feel something crazy. It's fine. Up, around, and down. Really control the movement. We're not going super fast. Now we have arm circles. Keeping the elbows bent. I'm going to drive my elbows around and back. Breathing. Keeping those elbows bent. Opening up my chest here, super important. And switch direction. Relaxing the neck. Last one, and then we are going to repeat this warm-up now with those reaches in 3, 2, 1. So reaching down like I'm doing a Romanian deadlift, but we're just stretching. So cross reach, stretching out my hamstrings, hinging at the hips. 10 seconds left. So good. We're going to get those squats in 3, 2, and 1. We're squatting it out. Chest stays up. Super important. Shoulders are relaxed. Core is nice and tight. Knees always in line with toes. Very important. Just make sure you're breathing. Find a good tempo that works for you. That's it. And one more. Let's get those hip circles to the right. 3, 2, 1. Around and down. Core is nice and tight to help with balance here. Around and down. Last one. Switch sides. Get that full circle. Yep. Last one. And now we're gonna get some arm circles back, guys. So I'm gonna keep my elbows bent, open up my chest, and squeeze my shoulder blades together. And breathing. Make sure you're not holding your breath. You're gonna notice your heart rate's coming up a little bit here. You're gonna feel this in your shoulders. Switch direction. Last bit, and then we are gonna get started with your body weight movements. So we're gonna start with a split squat, my right foot in front, left foot back. As I'm coming down, I'm gonna do a little pull back with the arms like this. So we've got 20 seconds left, and making sure my front knee is only 90 degrees, right? My front knee is not coming past my toes. So you wanna pull your chest back as you come down, because that's what's gonna keep it straight up. And your arms are always gonna wanna fall when they come down behind you, but keep them 90 degrees. Let's switch sides. Same thing. Keeping them staying up. You're gonna notice it's harder to come back, right? Because when you start to go down, it's easy, but as I'm staying 90 degrees, you have less range of motion. 10 seconds. You don't need weights to feel the arms. Like I always feel this right away in my shoulders. Next thing we're gonna do is a sumo squat with an overhead arm raise. You'll see, so as you press up with this squat, you feel it. Because it's really hard to keep the chest up in this movement. 20 seconds. Down and up. Always taking your time and focusing, prioritizing form. Last one. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is a body weight version of a single straight leg deadlift, where I'm gonna tilt down and bring my knee up and through. So since I have no weight, I want you guys to focus on bringing the knee up and through rather than placing it back down on the mat to get the hamstrings, and also just to work on balance. Up and through. And switching sides. This is always my harder side. Tilting down, up and through. It's okay if you need to reset in between. And up and through. Shoulders stay pulled back like you've got good posture. Last one. Okay, let's bring it down. So bodyweight stuff is hard, especially down on the mat. We have high plank shoulder taps. 3, 2, 1. So the key with these is to make sure you're not swinging your hips, but instead we're staying nice and still. 10 seconds. Nice and still. That's it. Guys, next we've come down into our low plank and hip dip. Hip dip. It's not about speed, all about form. Keeping that belly tucked into the spine. So good, 10 seconds. All right. Flipping over nice and quick, we're gonna get tricep dips. Hands behind me, fingers facing the glutes, knees bent, and I'm gonna dip. So it's not about the butt going down and up, it's just about my elbows going straight back behind me. That's all we're worried about. Just like that. Let's get some ab stuff now, guys. So I'm gonna come down on my lower back. That's all I care about, lower back nice and flat. Hands gently under the neck, not the head, because we're not pulling our chin to our chest. We're just supporting the head gently. And we have alternating bicycle twists. 15 seconds. Every time I extend my legs, I'm trying to bring them super low to the mat to really engage my lower abs. Next, we're gonna get some crunches. So just normal crunches here, keeping my lower back flat on the ground and pulsing right here. So good. Ten seconds, we're gonna get a mini stretch. making sure your chin's not touching your chest. Let's stretch quick with a down dog, up dog. I love incorporating yoga when it comes to recovery. High plank. Send it back and pedal out the heels. Exhale. And then up dog to lengthen out the core. Twist side to side. Get in those obliques. We're gonna begin again that round one more time in 5 seconds. So pop back up. And we have our split squat with the pullbacks. Last time doing this round. 3, 2, 1. Pulling it back. Your body's gonna wanna kind of come forward with this. So every time you go down, try pulling your chest back. So at the top, you're gonna open up your chest. If your arms are really having a hard time coming back, it might mean that your chest is a little tight, and you might wanna focus on stretching out your chest. Our chests become very tight from hunching over all the time because we're shortening our chest muscles. So if we're hunched over on our phones, we're actually tightening up our chest, which can cause our shoulders to slump forward, and it can cause bad posture. So by stretching out the chest, you can help your posture. Okay, next we have our sumo squat, overhead raise and nice and wide. Knees always in line with toes to prevent any knee injury. And back. Push those knees out. So we never want them falling in, right? Because now they're not in alignment with my toes. That's how I'm always going to avoid injury. And this also helps engage the inner legs. Okay, single straight leg deadlift, starting with my right side, tilting it down till I feel that tight pull in my hamstrings, which are the muscles in the back of my legs, up and through. You guys are focusing on balance with this. It definitely is a bit harder with no shoes. You're forced to use a lot more of your tinier muscles in your feet, but helps make you stronger. Switch sides. 3, 2, 1. You're also training your nervous system when you work on balance. Keeping my shoulders back, right? Not rounding my back. Halfway. Feeling that tight pull back here. Up. Last one. All right, we're bringing it down. Shoulder taps. Almost done. High plank. 3, 2, 1. So you want to make sure your shoulders are directly above your wrists and belly's tucked in tight. Halfway. Pretend like someone's holding your hips still so they're not swinging side to side. Last few. And let's take it down to your forearm plank now for hip dips. 30 seconds, 3, 2, 1. Dip, twist and dip. Sometimes it takes me a few reps to really get this form down. Halfway. So good, guys. We're almost done. Give me a few more, and then we have tricep dips. Okay. Switch it around nice and quick. Always moving quick. Fingers facing the glutes. 3, 2, 1. So all I'm focused on is bringing my elbows directly back behind me. It's not a hip thrust movement. It's just straight back. Breathe. These are always so much harder than they look. But this is a really great way to tone the triceps, to tone the arms overall. Okay, lower back's flat. Bicycle twist. Now, if you have lower back pain, you're just starting out with building core strength, you can always bend one knee like this, place it on the ground, and just focus on one side at a time. This is still super hard for sure, and then the other side would look like this. But here we are. We've got crunches to finish it out. In 3, 2, 1. So resetting my back, knees up. Again, you're not pulling your chin towards your chest because your shoulders are peeling off the ground instead, and you're focusing on your core being what lifts you up with each pulse. Halfway. Make sure you're breathing. We always want to hold our breath with core, but it just makes it so much harder. 3, 2, 1. Before we're done, let's get that stretch again. You can never do too many down dog, up dogs. Like when you go to a yoga class, you're probably doing like 20. So let's get this in again. Exhale. Lengthening out my core. Amazing job, guys. So again, you can do a lot with body weight. It does not need to be with weights, because I'm sweating. Like I definitely got a workout in. Only 15 minutes. I do always recommend training for a full hour, and that's why if you guys were interested in going live with me and like having your mats set up and ready to go, we could do a full hour, and probably end up needing to be early for you guys, like 8 a.m. But I don't know, because there's also people in different time zones. So I tried to do 12 today. I feel like this is kind of a good time. I really want you guys to write in though and let me know. But I feel like 12 is good if it's your lunch break at work, or if you're like literally sitting at work but want to do a little stretch routine. So I'm gonna add that on now for like a mini, if you are watching and you want to stretch, join me now. We're gonna do a little full body. I always like to start with neck circles. Here's some cracks. Head's only going from shoulder to shoulder. We're not gonna do full range. It's not great for your neck to go all the way around. Arm circles, keeping the arms straight this time. We're just doing as many reps as you want, we're not counting. Forward. I wanna open up my chest, so I'm actually gonna do pulses backwards like this. Aim for about 10 reps if you wanna count. Back. We're gonna get one of my favorites where I just twist over, drop it down, getting my hamstrings too. Opening that chest. Now we're gonna twist, but first you're gonna squeeze your abs really tight and tuck your belly in, and then you're gonna twist, twist, twist. So you definitely might feel some cracks with this if you are tucking your abs in tight. Twist. Lots of breathing. Okay, we're gonna do some good mornings. So this is really similar to so many things we've done today, which is just gonna be a little hip hinge so that we wake up our hamstrings. But look, my spine's not rounded. I'm almost, if anything, arched, so that we get the area below the glutes. Reaching my toes. So now I'm gonna drop down for that ragdoll. Now I'm gonna just let my back do whatever it wants. Grab my elbows, swing side to side. And then this one's a lot harder and deeper in the hamstring, right foot in front, left foot back, trying to keep them both straight and stretching out those front hammies. So you have 3 hamstrings in every leg. We're stretching them out. I like to bend the back leg. I also like to stay moving in my stretches rather than static. So staying a little dynamic here. Then we're gonna get into the low lunge to open your hip flexors. So if you're someone with tight hip flexors, which everyone has them, this is going to open them up right here, my left hips. I'm gonna raise up and tilt over the other knee and back. This one can feel really intense if you haven't stretched your hip flexors before. Notice I'm bringing that back knee like really far back, as you can see. Opening my right hip, extending up when you're ready. Over. All right, we're gonna drop it on down and get our classic little toe reach. And if you can, push your toes towards the ground. If you can reach your toes, if you can reach your feet. Then we're gonna get a straddle. So why I like the straddle, you're gonna go as wide as you can, as it's gonna get inner legs, but if you need to stretch your lower back, there's a way to do that with this. So if I want to stretch my lower left back, I can actually reach over to my right foot, my left hand over my head, and I'm coming to the side but slightly forward. And you're actually gonna feel this stretching your lower left back. Same with the other side. Kind of play around with it, move around till you feel that area being stretched. Okay, outer legs. So sometimes lower back pain is caused by your outer legs being tight. So we're gonna get an IT band stretch. I'm gonna take my elbow, push my knee away from my body. And you kind of sit into it. There's really no timeline with this. I mean, you could be doing this as long as you want. You don't want to move through it too fast because you want to actually feel the effects of it, but it's kind of up to you. Some people feel this on its own, but I need to push my knee away to really feel it. Okay, next, some yoga poses. So I'm going to get into the glutes now by doing my pigeon pose. A lot of the time people will bring their knee out to the side more, and that's going to really get into your hip. But I like to bring my knee to the center of my chest and then sit my glute down, and now I really feel it in my left glutes, like a lot. You can always fall forward. Ooh. And other side when you're ready. Same thing. Kind of wiggle around in it. Feel it out, drop low. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's get a little child's pose. I like to use the child's pose to stretch out my lats, knees wide, feet together. I crawl it forward, and I really push my arms towards the mat. And what this does is stretches out the lats, so the sides of the body, by pushing the chest towards the mat as well. And this is gonna, again, open up the hips. Last bit, coming back up. All right, guys, we made it through. I'm gonna take a break for the weekend, but I will be doing this every day of the week, probably at 12, unless you guys start telling me you want a specific time of day that you wanna do it with me. Let me know, but I will see you guys next week. Bye.